Kia ora te whānau. Today we're here with Midia. Midia has recently finished the 30-day Te Reo Māori Bootcamp course online. She jumped on here today to let us know some of her thoughts, and yeah, hopefully you watching at home might be able to get more of an insight into how the course works. So kia ora, Midia.
Kia ora, Grant.
Now, first things, kei te pai aho, kei te pēhea koe.
Kei te ngenge aho, but kei te pai.
Kei te ngenge ia, nā te mea, kei te hapu ia. So she's a bit tired because she's also pregnant. Third trimester. Yep. So Amity has gone through this, the whole course, the 30-day action-packed bootcamp course while she's hapu, which is really cool. I think you might be the first person that's come through this course being hapu, and yeah, definitely being so far along the line. So that's cool. I'm really impressed that you've I'm impressed that you've committed to doing the course while you're going through that part of your life. That's really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
So we'll jump straight into the questions. And so before you jumped onto the course, before you got involved, what was life like for you in regards to te reo, te ao Māori, all those sorts of things?
Well, my dad's Māori and my mum is Pākehā, and my dad is fluent in Māori, and his whole side of the family are, some of them are native speakers, some of them are translators for universities.
Wow.
Like their reo is impressive, and their knowledge, their mātauranga around their culture is pretty impressive. My mum's Pākehā. She doesn't have te reo, but she speaks fluent sign language and Spanish. But I was predominantly brought up by my mum in a predominantly Pākehā environment. And when I was quite young, I did spend a lot of time going up north to my marae. So I had a lot of like, I could hear it and I understood what it sounded like, and I learned a lot of tikanga and stuff. But then around my high school years, my dad and that side of the family disappeared. They just weren't in my life anymore. And around that time when I went into high school, I was pretty much the only Māori person, or I was a very small minority, and I didn't know anybody, and I was just really trying to survive and like assimilate. And so everything to do with te reo and like Māori tanga had this layer of grief over it. And and so I like never pronounced my name correctly. Everyone called me Ameria pretty much my whole life. And it wasn't until I went to university and I met a Pākehā girl who had grown up in a Māori community, and she asked me what my name was, and I said, oh, Ameria. And then she asked me how that was spelt, and she was like, oh, Amidia. And I was like, yeah, it's a Māori name. And then she was quite staunch and strong and confident and popular, and she went around, she made everybody pronounce my name correctly. And it was a really cool experience because I then sort of started to think about like whakapapa, which is a very intrinsic part of, probably the most intrinsic part of Māori culture, some might say. And I started to realize that it wasn't just about the past, it's also about the present and how we relate ourselves in the world now as a Māori person, and also our future and our descendants and children, babies. And so I kind of had this new life around it, sort of like it didn't have to be so connected to this sad part of my life. And so I did a paper at university, and I got to like a conversational point, And then after that, it was too much. And I had this little period of, I don't know, having a bit of space from learning. And then I went to night school after I met my husband, who is Māori and very comfortable in his Māori life and family. And that was really great. And I was starting to remember what I'd learnt, but then I didn't really get along with the tutor. There were some things that happened, and I kind of got triggered again, and it was all sad again. And then over the course of the last few years, I've been really trying to like heal that relationship with being Māori and te reo and whakapapa and learning about who I am. And I've actually mended a lot of relationships in my whānau and with my dad and stuff, which has been pretty cool. And in my job now, I work alongside a lot of like Māori people and just slowly learning just by making myself more and more comfortable. And that's kind of how I came across this, was by trying to find my own resources. And I came across your YouTube and then your podcast as well, and just always had the emails and had this plan that I was always going to try the course out because I really resonated with the videos and stuff. Yeah.
Wow,
That's my
that is deep.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because I
guess,
think that this is a deep thing, right?
Absolutely. It's one of the first things that we talk about when we start the course is, we need to anchor this journey to something. And that's when we talk about starting with our why. So, why are you doing this course? Because there's a lot of people that can just jump into a course and start on day one and let's just start learning.
Yeah.
Whereas, the journey into learning te reo, into learning more about your culture, and from the sounds of it, from your story, it's definitely about identity. The way we behave and the way we act in life, a lot of that comes from our subconscious, the things that we don't really realize that we're doing. So if we can start off this course, this journey, by trying to just at least start by identifying some of the blocks that we might have, and then working through trying to clear some of those out, we lay a much better platform for learning. And that's a beautiful story that you share.
Yeah, I had a lot of like Pākehā people in my life, especially at work, who were really interested in te reo, and I was always quite envious of them because they could just, it seemed from the outside that they could just go to a class and be really enthusiastic and learn about it quite fresh. But for me, it was always enmeshed and entangled with grief and past and my family and things like that. So my whole journey is definitely about healing these parts of myself and trying to find wholeness within that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I do hope that I've been able to help on that journey.
Oh, definitely.
That would make me very happy.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, so that's how you've come to this position, how you've come to, I guess, starting this course on this journey of identity and healing. So I think there'll be a lot of people at home that might be watching this at some point in the future that story will definitely resonate with. Cool. So moving forward, you see the course, you think, hey, this looks interesting. Was there any, or were there any obstacles that came up for you around why you mightn't have joined?
Yeah, I think I was always kind of like, like I want to do it, but do I have time? It's sort of that same old sort of story. Like, what if I sign up and then I don't end up having enough time to finish everything, or I end up getting too overwhelmed and then just quitting halfway through. Like, yeah, I kind of talk about it now with this tone, like, because like those were really predominant fears, but through the course, I realized how much of a waste of my energy thinking that way was. Sort of like, if you want something, you make it work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I found in this course.
Quite a few people have said that. That's one of their biggest apprehensions about starting is the time and the time commitment. And when people reach out and ask about the course, that's one of the biggest questions I get. How much time do I actually have to put into this? Because it tends to attract people that are already really busy in their lives, and it's like I just want to add one more. I'm just going to add another feather in the cap. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
And look, some people, they go through the course and they don't quite keep up with it all. But I mean, like we've talked about, all the resources stay there for good. We kind of we go on this sprint. We go on this sprint for 30 days, and that's all it is, 30 days. So if people can block out enough time each day to work through what they need to work through, it's definitely manageable. And a lot of it's just around reprioritization. Reprioritizing things that you do in your life but don't have a true benefit to you. You just do them because you do them. TV is a classic example. I like to watch TV in the evenings. Well, we need to change that behavior. We need to start doing something else that's actually going to push you towards that goal, and that you can anchor into that why that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, but it's not so much that you're giving up TV or giving up listening to the radio. You're just replacing it with alternatives to help you push you towards the goal that you have. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Cool. So time, interesting. So we go through the course. We get to the end. The 30 days is up. For you personally, what was the biggest result that you got from the course?
Biggest result. Well, I think one thing that's been really cool is because I have done a few different courses in the past, all of that came back. And so that was quite exciting that I hadn't completely forgotten everything. But also, I think the most valuable thing is this, like, being able to develop a structure or a framework around my own learning and being able to actually understand my learning and the best ways that I learn. Like with your course, for example, what I really liked about it is that it did really fit in around your life. It was sort of like, here's all the information in the morning, here's the lessons and the homework and the activities, and then you have to find time within your day to set them out. And it really made me kind of reevaluate, what do I do during my day, and where can I slip these certain things in? Like I go for walks every day, and so that's when I would listen to all my quieter and things like that. And or on the commute is where I listen to a lot of things. And I like to watch things when I eat, so that's when I would watch a lot of the Māori TV shows, and those are things that have kind of turned into this habit. Yeah. So it's sort of, I guess the result is like a lifestyle change. Yeah.
Nice. So it's like you've built new habits out of this.
Yes,
and it goes back to what we were just talking about earlier. We are, like you just said, we do things in our lives, and now that you've got more activities that you need to slot into your life, you can start prioritizing the things that are important, and just being able to build those new behaviors, make those lifestyle changes. That we're a little bit past the finish date now, but it sounds like you're still doing that, and it's not like we just got to day 30 and everything stopped and that was the end of it. a lot of the resources that we use. I'm not big on rewriting resources because there are so many already out there and a lot of good ones, and I can't. There's a lot of them that I'm not going to be able to do better than what they are. So let's utilize those. So you don't need this course to keep doing those, committing to utilizing those resources afterwards. But what people have found through the course, like you've just said, it's actually like a kick up the bum to actually commit to doing them and utilizing them. Whereas before, if you just, sometimes same reason why people go and join group fitness classes and gyms. You've got that. Yeah, you've got the accountability. Exactly. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Which was also like a huge part of this for me, was we all got put into groups, and I just like completely bonded with my group. Like we love each other, and we like we still talk quite frequently, and we've been doing little whittles of the week where we've been like writing little activities and stuff for each other to do, and then we kind of catch up once a week and go through that, and just having like just meeting people that I can practice this stuff with, and who who kind of went through the journey with me as well, and know the habits, and that's been crazy invaluable.
Yep. And that probably leads on to my next question. What specific feature of the course did you like the most? Like you said, we've got the accountability groups. We do our lessons and our homework and activities every day. We're doing the live videos, our weekly calls as well. For you, what was your favorite or specific feature of the course that you liked the most?
Yeah, well, definitely the group has been really special, but I think also I don't know if you call it a feature, but the variety is good. I really liked how we started the course with really addressing why we were doing it and what we were afraid of, and sort of going into the psychology of it, because that sort of laid this foundation. And then we had to face our fears by like doing all these lives, which was really difficult for me, but it was invaluable. Got so much good feedback, and I think being able to put myself in a position where I'm doing something really hard, it made me commit to it more, and it made me it kind of showed me like what I'm capable of doing, which is so I guess the feature is like getting pushed out of your comfort zone a bit, and really learning about yourself on like a maybe psychological level, and then getting to do that with a group of people, and getting to carry that on with them has been really great.
Like we go through the why videos at the start, and for people on an individual basis, they do get some insights into themselves, and maybe start questioning themselves and posing questions to themselves that they haven't ever asked before. So you can find some really good insightful things through that. But in the group as well, we also go through a process or an activity of sharing our whys, and sharing that with everyone. So you get to find out the insights on your own self, but especially people that really delve into it deep, you actually get to see all these things for other people, and sometimes you can pick things out of there that go, oh, I can relate to that. That's I've felt like that too. And so from day one, we're not just going through this course as just a bunch of random people that meet together in an online medium. We actually get to bond quite a lot, and I think there's a lot to be said of the level of intimacy in terms of how getting to know people, how well you can do that in an online space. And then moving into the accountability groups, like you said, with the people in your group. I think Emma was in there, and I can't remember who
Emma,
else.
Amanda, and Maria.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you guys are all really close friends now, no doubt. And I wouldn't doubt it, if one day you guys are all catching up somewhere and meeting face to face, and, it's just a great opportunity to meet like-minded people.
Yeah. And also during this whole COVID lockdown, I've done a few courses online. Like I did a birthing course, and that was the thing that was really lacking, was that you knew that if you were in the room with these people, you would be able to create relationships and bond and make friendships. But over Zoom, it just seemed impossible. But then with this Te Reo class, like getting into these little small groups, you actually had that opportunity to do that. So it's just as valuable as if we were all in person.
Yep.
Yeah. And also we spent a lot of time asking questions on the group, and so we would make friends outside of our own little bubble.
Yeah. Yep.
Which was great too.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. And like for me personally, I get, I'm not involved in every single little group, but I do get to talk to a lot of people during the course, and I have people messaging me one-on-one, asking lots of questions, and I get to help them. So, I get to meet like so many new people as well, and I get to have great conversations, and, like we're having now, I get even more insights into people and just get to hear some amazing stories.
Great.
Cool. So, kind of wrapping up, if someone asked you whether they should do this course or not, would you recommend it to them? And if so, why?
I would definitely recommend this course. I think one of the things that I really liked about this one, comparatively to the other courses and stuff that I've done, is that how do I explain it? Like I went to art school, for example, and we got taught a lot by artists who weren't teachers. And I find that, I've come across a lot of little groups where they have the skill where someone can speak Te Reo, but they don't actually know how to teach that. And I feel like you've done so much research into how to relay this information about structures and grammar. And it wasn't just like, even the way that you chose kind of like kupu, it wasn't like, let's sit down and do all the colors, because we don't actually talk too much about colors on a day-to-day basis. Like, I feel like you've really thought about people's lives and how you use this language like a tool or like a part of your life. And I love all your little shortcuts and things, all your little tables that you have that make it so much easier to learn things. And like all your little learn 500 million phrases by just learning 2 words. So one time it was like that. It was like 1,000 phrases.
Yeah, we learned how to say 500 phrases, I think it was. Yeah, from about 20 different words just by using a particular structure.
Because it's not like we're learning, it's like we're learning how to do the equation, is rather than just learning the sentence.
Yep. Yeah, from my perspective, the way the course is structured, it's not just about feeding you the information. Like I said before, we start with trying to get rid of the roadblocks. Makes it easier for us to learn. I can then give you what you need to learn, but I like to try and frame it so you can see the outcome. you know, it's really important that when you're learning something, you can see what the end goal is. You can see what the outcome's going to be. And if I can show you that path of how to get there, you know what you're going for. You know what you're targeting. You're not just moving forward for the sake of moving forward. And that's, yeah, like you said, that's kind of the structure of a lot of the lessons and a lot of the work we do. And I think being a second language learner, I've, you know, it's taken me, you know, a certain amount of time to get to a certain point. And my goal is to just show you how to get to that point in a shorter period.
Yeah.
Whereas I think I've spoken to some other people that have done courses where the teacher's first language is Te Reo, and their feedback is, you know, that they just didn't quite have an appreciation of, they knew the language 100%, no issues with that. But in terms of taking a student from a position of, you know, uncertainty in the unknown and getting them to that next point, that was the part of the, I guess, that bridge that they couldn't quite build that gap, which I think that's what we do really well in this course.
Yeah, it's very much the whole teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime kind of.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So cool. Look, that's our list of questions. For anyone that might be watching at home in 12 months' time, in 2022, 2030, who knows? Have you got any final comments or anything that you'd like to just share with the world before we wrap up?
Just do it. And if you're worried about doing it, write those worries down and really look at them, because I think that it's, yeah, you should just do it. Also, in 2030, my baby will be 10, which is exciting.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
And hopefully it will be fluent, because I would have taught her everything I know.
Yep. I'm sure you will, Amidia. I'm sure you will. Well, look, thank you for jumping on today. I really appreciate you taking a bit of time out of your afternoon to share with the world your experiences, and all the best for your pregnancy and everything that comes along with that, and as well as that, moving forward in your journey of Te Reo and identity and living a happy and prosperous life.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks, Amidia. Appreciate it.
Okay.